Welcome to Huddle Up, brought to you by the Fields Huddle Group. Jaguars senior writer John Oehser, NFL Network analyst and former Jaguar Bucky Brooks, and senior reporter J.P. Shadrick bring you the latest on your Jacksonville Jaguars. Huddle Up starts right now.
Welcome in. It is Wednesday, preseason week 3. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks and a busy show ahead. Preseason week 3 against the Dolphins coming up Saturday. The game presented by Ticketmaster at the bank. Jaguar starters are playing. We'll get to that coming up. Some injury concerns, especially on the depth of the offensive line, and a couple of starters down on the defensive line. And the roster has to go to 53 by Tuesday at 4 o'clock Eastern time. All of that coming up on Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, brought to you by Fields Auto Group Jacksonville. Step up to luxury. FieldsAuto.com. J.P. Shadrick with you. John Oehser alongside me here in the Hyundai Studios.
I'm right here.
Miller Electric Center. Bucky Brooks is out in Los Angeles joining us now. Good afternoon, Bucky. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? What's happening? Hyundai Studios. That's nice. It looks nice out there. You guys look like you're properly taken care of. You look like you're living in the lap of luxury while we're recording the podcast. That's cool.
It is luxurious.
Yeah, Hannah is all about luxury, right?
That's right.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, it's fantastic. New studios, and now this show. I think it's the first time, Buck. Is this the first time you've been on the Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks show this year?
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
It has. I think I missed the first two because the first one I was away, and then the second one I might have been in Seattle. You guys were on location in Detroit.
Yeah. But now we got you.
Well, welcome, Bucky. This is JP. I don't know if you've met JP. I'm John. Let's talk a little bit.
Oh, nice meeting you guys. You guys look
good,
well equipped. All things Jaguars. Yeah.
Thanks.
You guys look great.
Let's hear from the head coach earlier this week, setting the tone. They're going to play the starters this week against the Dolphins, maybe a half. And Coach Peterson asked Monday about his approach toward playing them versus keeping players healthy.
I can't really worry too much about who gets hurt, this and that. If I do, then people get hurt, right? I mean, I just think you practice and play just like you're getting ready for a regular season game, and our starters need some time together on the field, and so they'll get that opportunity this week. And I'll listen. I'll monitor it. I'll be on top of that too. So if I need to pull them out, I'll pull them out. But right now, it's still full steam ahead.
So, Bucky, of course, last week the Jaguars in the practice field in Detroit had a few players go down with injury, some of the depth guys in the offensive line, and, they didn't play in the game. The starters did not play in Detroit. So if you didn't play in Detroit, it would be, 3 weeks until you played football again. So at some point you got to get some reps and play some real game.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can't coach scared. And Doug Peterson is saying that basically. You got to get guys ready to play. And you want to knock on wood and hope that none of your starters go down. But at the end of the day, it's football. And the only way to hit the ground running when the season kicks off in September is to make sure that you've given them enough reps to develop the chemistry and continuity that you have to play at a high level. Unlike some coaches who want to ease into the season, take the first 4 games of the regular season to kind of figure out who they are and what they're about, Doug Peterson wants to make sure that he can kind of get a jump start on the rest of the league by having his guys ready to play from week 1.
Yeah, those early games count. And, my sense, and Bucky, the ex-player, I have a litany of questions for the scout, the player, the coach.
We've got
time today, Buck. My thought has always been that as much as being physically ready, playing a couple of snaps for these starters, or playing a couple of series for these starters, gets you sort of ready. It gets your body clock ready, meaning they're used to playing during the preseason. They're used to having a couple of rests for that. I don't know that they're actually learning how to play as much as it just sort of gives them that confidence going into week 1 that they've done it already. Maybe they don't need it physically, but maybe they just need to tell themselves, okay, now I'm ready. Any thought on that, Buck?
Well, I agree with you. There's something to it that you can't simulate. Like whether we go in practice and we put the shells on, meaning the shoulder pads but not the lowers, and you're thudding but you're not tackling to the ground. At some point, man, you want to kind of like get your guys familiar with how the game is played. and it's played at a faster speed, it's played at a more violent pace and tempo than you can recreate on the practice field. And so you got to get guys ready for that, because if not, the first time that they play and get hit in a regular season game, they're going to lose the ball. They're going to take poor angles when it comes to tackling. There is something to having a live dress rehearsal that extends beyond the series or two.
As Trevor Lawrence, we'll hear from him coming up. Actually available on Jaguars.com and the Jaguars YouTube channel, the press conference after practice today with the quarterback. But I asked him, hey, do you guys, you've game planned all your life, but is there more of a game plan this week in the preseason? He kind of looked at me like I was from Mars a little bit, I thought, and just kind of talking his way through it. Yeah, they do a little, but they're not really showing any new wrinkles. They're going up against certain looks.
He was sort of trying to say it's more than the first two.
Yeah.
Preseason games, but it ain't anything close. Yeah. They're not showing anything. No. They're not certainly not giving anything away that's secret. And you really hardcore. I mean, especially Doug and Press, they really hardcore game plan for opponents. I doubt they're going nearly as in depth. Probably not staying here until 1 on a Monday.
No.
For this one, you would hope not.
No, I mean they're showing cards and stuff at practice, Bucky, and all that kind of stuff. So you know they're looking at something. But it's not a full.
They're not running the wishbone on 4th and 1 with ETN on Saturday.
Yeah, the T formation's not coming out. Yeah.
No, they're not doing that. But you are going into the game with a couple things that you want to check off the box. You want to see how the first wide receiver core, that unit, how it looks in comparison with. You want to see what that chemistry with them and number 16 is like. Because if you get off to a fast start, you feel good about that part. You want to see what the offensive line reshuffling does to impact your overall offensive potential. If you have a couple guys unavailable, you have a new guy coming in to start who was fine, but may not be before. You just have a bunch of different things that you're trying to evaluate, and so you just want to make sure that you feel great about that. Then defensively, you need these guys to play, and so you can continue to assess who's the nickel, who is going to be the big nickel, how are we going to play these different personnel groupings that we want, and so you got a lot to get done in about a half of football.
Let's hear from the offensive coordinator, Press Taylor, speaking with the media today. What does he want to see out of the starters Saturday?
Similar thing as, we talked about week 1 or preseason week 1 of seeing just a clean operation. You want to see clear communication. It's our chance to be at home. You kind of want the butterflies of these guys getting in a game and understanding they're about to get tackled. There's pressure on the line. If you don't convert, you're punting and all that type of stuff. So you really just want to try to get that smoothed out for the guys so that week 1, it's not the first time they've felt that way or communicated in a huddle or broken a huddle together and all that stuff. So clean operation from a communication substitution standpoint. And then you want to see them execute. Again, it's still somewhat of a core game plan for us. It's not exotic stuff. So you just want to go out and see clean execution out of these guys. Making plays too.
Clean. That's what they need. And for the most part, I mean, they got in and out of the huddle against Dallas. Now, they threw an interception on the second play and then went 3 and out and got a short field and had a 4th down touchdown. That was really the only outing for the starting offense this whole preseason, John.
Yeah, and they definitely want to feel cleaner than that. I mean, they want to score touchdowns. I would guess if you ask Trevor, rather not throw picks than automatically have to have touchdowns at the end of your drive. If they move, if they feel good, if they feel like they're in a rhythm, I think they'll be happy. But I think they'll definitely want to come out of that at least scoring 7, Buck, and probably 14 to feel really good going into it. It's not a crisis if you don't, but it'll sure make those 15 days, I would think, a lot more pleasant, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Make it more pleasant. And you want to leave a lasting impression. And so if the first team offense and defense, but the first team offense in particular, if they're racing up and down the field, scoring points, man, you feel great about what potentially you can have during the regular season. But if they're bogged down, they can't convert first downs, they're just having a tough time just getting out of their own way, then you have some issues. And you'll go back and you'll cross-reference, like, those things to make sure, like, okay, here's where we were a couple of weeks ago. This is what it looks like now. Okay, we're still on schedule. And so, but you would like to make sure that the last time this unit takes snaps together in the preseason, it looks like they're ready, regular season ready.
I'm going to ask the analyst. I got here.
It's a list today.
I'm on down my list.
Laundry list.
And I tend not to get really caught up in this storyline, but it does matter for this team. The fast start issue. They clearly a slow starting team last year, and clearly a very good team once Trevor really got going at whatever point in the game that he got going. Is there anything to that? Is that just Trevor, Bucky? Is there a way to improve that? It's kind of a silly question because if they could, they would. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, if you want to get your quarterback off to a fast start, what you do is you have a collaborative effort to put down your first 15. Most teams start with 15 plays that are scripted, and they kind of work down the list to make sure that there's certain touch points that they want to get to where they throw a different disguise, a different wrinkle or whatever, and see how the defense reacts. It's good to go. So what I want to see from Trevor is I want to see him continue to knock down the layups. I want to see him continue to move the chains. I want to see and feel this offense have a rhythm. And regardless of whether it ends up in points or not, I just want to see how this team operates and flows after getting 2, 3, 4 first downs in succession. That'd be a great indicator on what this offense can be.
Plenty ahead. We'll go to the defensive side of the ball in just a moment. And if you're a Jags fan who's always on the move, we've got the perfect plan for you. With the bundle at the bank, you can purchase tickets to 3 or more games starting at just $58 per game. Get the flexibility you want for your time this fall. Visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. This is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields, and we have some great news. Fields has the vehicle you want, in stock, priced right, and ready for delivery.
Fields Auto Group is Jacksonville's luxury automotive destination for Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Inventory is back and available for immediate delivery.
And every Fields customer can take advantage of our Fields Amenities program with complimentary loaners, car washes, and our cafes. You deserve the best.
Stop by today or go to fieldsauto.com.
Are you ready to elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans? Citrus Distillers, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is excited to announce the 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Now available at Total Wine and other participating retailers. Elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans. The 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Duval!
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbq.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
We're a work in progress. We're out there. We did some good things in the preseason, done a couple good things out there on the field against our offense. It's just day by day we come in here and try to get better. We focus on certain things, and sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. Turnovers and tackling has been one thing we've really harped on, and that's starting to show up a little bit. So hopefully that continues. But, it's early and they come in bunches. We just have to continue to work on it, continue to talk about it, and, once the season comes, hopefully they'll continue to come.
Defensive coordinator Mike Caldwell earlier this week. Welcome back. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, JP Shadrick, John Oehser in Jacksonville, Bucky Brooks in Los Angeles. The Jaguars will be in Jacksonville Saturday, 7 o'clock kickoff time against the Miami Dolphins. Starters will go for the Jags. And a couple on defense will not go. Foley Fatukasi, Devon Hamilton, coming up with injuries within the last week or so. Fatukasi injured in practice. Hamilton on the non-football injury list. So, Bucky, we'll get a look at some of the depth guys on the defensive line, it feels like, at least this week. We'll see how Fatukasi trends moving ahead in the next 2 weeks before the regular season opener. It feels like there's some hope for him to be ready to roll week 1 in Indianapolis. Still no real word on Devon Hamilton and a timetable or anything with that. So it's really the first on the defensive side big issue that's popped up in the injury front this whole training camp, Bucky.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate that you have some injuries, but that's kind of a part of the training camp process. I think the big thing when you're looking at the defense in the front line is continue to monitor Trayvon Walker's progress to see where he's going to fit into the equation, how he's going to be able to be a disruptive force at the point of attack, if at all. You're trying to look and see who are going to be the pass rushers outside of Josh Allen that can get to the quarterback. Which one of the young guys can maybe be a compliment. We talked about Mr. Abdullah and those guys. Can someone else emerge as a guy that can give you 5 or 6 sacks? Because this is a team that should play with a lot of leads. And the thing about playing with the lead, you should have more pass rush opportunities. Now you got to turn those opportunities into sacks. But the expectations at this front line should be better regardless of the injuries at the front line right now.
Yeah, I think Hamilton's a big story. And I don't have a feel for when he'll be back. It felt early in camp and even against Dallas like he was a guy who might get some interior disruption. And interior disruption, most teams can't really rely on it. If you get it, it really helps those outside guys. So he felt like a guy who was trending toward being that. And I think early in training camp, they really thought that combination of Fatukasi, Hamilton, Roy Robertson Harris were going to be a base they could build this thing around. It's way too early and inaccurate to say that's gone, but you really want that. You really want those 3 big guys. Those are your 3 big guys. Jeremiah Ledbetter played well on Saturday.
Yeah.
I think he becomes a pretty important storyline for this. Did what we see Saturday, was that just because it was against 2s? Or can he sort of have some rush and disruption against 1s? I look forward to seeing that a little bit on Saturday.
He's played for so many different teams, Bucky, over the years. I mean, a bunch of different teams in the league. He's never really had a chance to stick anywhere. Maybe this
but sometimes those linemen develop and are in their 5th year or so.
Yep.
All of a sudden figure it out. They're big bodies and they can move a little bit. So maybe Bucky, maybe he's a guy like that.
Yeah, maybe he is a guy like that. And you would love for some of those stories to kind of come true and for him to be a feel-good story in Jacksonville while also being a productive player. As you guys are pointing out, he's played with a bunch of different teams. But I can say just because he's been let go by a previous team doesn't mean he's not a right fit for the Jaguars. You want to investigate and see it, but you love what you've seen thus far. He's flashed. He's been consistent. He's put up numbers. How does he fit in? Those things kind of factor in, but he's not the only one. There are a handful of other guys that you're trying to see kind of fit into the mix and try and figure out, okay, how do we put this together so we have the best 53 available each and every Sunday?
Bucky, where are you on the third corner situation? Trey Herndon and Gregory Jr. seem to be the names that are popping out more than others right now.
Well, the conservative coach in me would say, hey, let's go with the experienced vet. We know what we have in Trey Herndon. But the evaluator, the scout in me would say, nah, let's put the young guy out there and let's sink or swim. It really depends on where the team is. The team is at a place where they're vying to not only secure a division crown, but they're loosely targeting the number 1 seed. And so you don't want to give away games. So it's important that when you look at the tape of the young guy, how does he handle the emotional ups and downs that are associated with playing the position? Because he go give up something. He may make something and give something. So you're trying to figure that out. But Gregory Jr. has been good. I just think right now you probably give the nod to Herndon with the expectation by week 4, the young guy should be in the lineup.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. I don't want to say it comes down to Saturday, but this may be one of those where Saturday can help tilt it, because I don't know if they've decided on this one yet. This feels like it's still a battle.
And to your point, Bucky, and by week 4, things can change. I mean, it's not a done deal where he has to play all 17 games. That can adjust depending on the opponent, too. Who you're lining up against. Do they bring an extra safety in that spot instead if it's a bigger offense? I mean, there's all those options, too, right?
Yeah, all those options. And you want to have all those at your disposal if you're Mike Caldwell, because you can play different teams with different styles of offense. So you got to have some guys that can cut it down, take it on, and do those things. But you also going to have some of these diverse spread attacks where you got to be able to play man-to-man and get sticky coverage to be able to keep this other team out of the end zone. And so Mike Caldwell, the staff, Doug Peterson, they're trying to figure out the right combination, because how many pass rushers do you keep? And do you keep an additional pass rusher at the expense of a cornerback or a cover guy? And so you're just trying to put this puzzle together. And, oh, by the way, you also would be scouring the waiver wire looking for some guys that also might have some tools that can help you.
Who would they be in the claim order? Like 23rd, something like that?
Yeah, I looked at it.
You never know.
It's
you
in
never
that
know,
range.
though. You
Well,
never know who may come, come through.
Yeah.
It's possible. Yeah. It's not impossible. Let's put it that way.
If it's not impossible, then it's possible.
Definitely. There's one or the other. That's right. Sticky coverage, a Buckyism there.
Well, I've been without Buckyisms for a couple of weeks now, so I feel refreshed.
So you're ready.
It's like a cool drink of water.
Yeah. I mean, that's the number one thing. Like, in 1A, 1B is pass rush and then coverage. And can you find a set of coverages that best match the personnel that is available in the back end? As much as they wanted to come out and play man-to-man, they found they didn't necessarily have the personnel. So now if you want to play more zone, do you have the personnel that can play, that can key it, diagnose it, and react quickly? So they feel like they're also on autopilot. So there are a lot of things to consider. What does your sub situation look like? A lot of things Mike Caldwell has to sort out. But this final game will give him a chance to get some of those answers.
Jags fans want customized Jags furniture for your home? Well, check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. ZipChair, furniture for fans. In a moment, Calvin Ridley on his role and other receivers' role in this offense. This is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields, and we have some great news. Fields has the vehicle you want, in stock, priced right, and ready for delivery.
Fields Auto Group is Jacksonville's luxury automotive destination for Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Inventory is back and available for immediate delivery.
And every Fields customer can take advantage of our Fields Amenities program with complimentary loaners, car washes, and our cafes. You deserve the best.
Stop by today or go to fieldsauto.com.
Your hometown gate now has more ways to save. Introducing My Gate Rewards, a new loyalty program with member-exclusive savings and fuel discounts. Earn points on in-store purchases, take advantage of special offers, and save on products you love. Score free coffee, fountain drinks, pizza, and soft serve with Gates frequent shopper clubs. Then use your points on savings at the pump. Download the My Gate Rewards app in the App Store today or ask a store associate for more information. Go from good to Gate.
As the official ticket marketplace of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the NFL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game. Whether you're cheering on the Jaguars at home or away, Ticketmaster has you covered. With Ticketmaster's interactive seat map, you'll get a 360-degree preview of your seat so you can make sure you've got the best view of those pivotal plays. Plus, the Ticketmaster app makes it easy to sell or transfer tickets if your plans change. And mobile tickets make getting in on game day a breeze. Find tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars. That's Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
This offense is so versatile. I mean, the more you know, the better you can be used. Right now, I think we're especially adding with me. Obviously, they already know it, but I've gotten caught up so much with them, and now I think the things that we're doing is going to be so cool because Trevor has so much room to just do whatever he kind of wants, and he can just give us this and that and that and that, and we all know what to do. I really think, with me, Kurt, Zay, Ag, Evan, E.T., Tank, we just got to play good, practice good, play good, bring it to the game. And I'm a believer. I have all the faith. I practice with these guys for this long. I'm a believer, man. It's Jags or nothing. So I believe we can do it.
Jags or nothing could be the new mantra. That is Calvin Ridley, Jaguars wide receiver. Welcome back. It is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, J.P. Shadrick, John Oehser and Jax, Bucky Brooks in L.A. And that's part of a conversation available now on the official Jaguars podcast network. I caught up with Calvin earlier this week, and it's revealing. He's excited. He's fired up. You can tell that. It seemed like the whole interview he was smiling the whole time.
Yeah, and it was a simple way to put it, and it sounds sort of self-explanatory, but he said it early in the conversation, or early in that quote. They just have to play good, and that's okay. Well, that's obvious. You got to play good to win. But what he's saying is it's all there. If they play as well as they can, this offense, there's 5-6 guys. I was talking to Christian Kirk about it yesterday. There's 5 or 6 guys who you won't be surprised if they score 2 touchdowns in a game. Kirk, Ingram, Jones, Ridley, Tank, ETN, Trevor. There's an unbelievable amount of firepower. You just got to play good, Buck.
I mean, look, yeah, that's it's a bottom line business. So the performance is everything, but the production should be there. I'm on record. I've said it on the podcast multiple times. I believe that they can have 3 1,000-yard receivers, and a 1,000-yard back. And I don't have to really put names on it. I would expect Calvin Ridley to certainly be one of those guys, but it could be Christian Kirk, it could be Zay Jones, it could be Evan Ingram. Any of those remaining 3 can certainly go over the mark. And then with Travis Etienne, what he's going to find, he's going to have so much more room to operate because you're going to have to double team Calvin Ridley. If the Calvin Ridley that has been on the practice field shows up game 1, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem for defenders, and quickly defensive coordinators are going to have to adjust, and some of that adjustment is going to require them to take people out the box. That creates lanes for Travis Etienne. It creates opportunities for the others. For the first time in a long time, I can't even remember the time that Jacksonville had really had an offensive-led attack. But this is one that should be productive, explosive, fun to watch, put a lot of points up on the board. It's going to be a different feel in the bank.
Yeah, JP, I think what Bucky said that really resonated with me just now, it's vogue sometime when analyzing teams for teams to sort of say, well, they've got to take our number one receiver away and not double him. I think that's said more often than it's reality. But when you watch Ridley, you think, I can only go back to when I was covering Marvin Harrison in Indy and Jimmy here. Other teams said, if we don't double cover those guys, we are going to lose the game because they will beat single and we will not have a chance to win. So there's a difference between that and a normal one who teams can say, it's fine. We don't really have to double. Yeah. So Ridley looks like a guy with his skill set. If you don't have a couple guys on him and they get blocked, and you block the D-line, he's going to score 2 or 3 touchdowns, and you're going to lose the game. So it's a big difference. I think he's that guy. And if you double him, Christian Kirk and Zay Jones, one of those guys is going to have single, and they can both beat it.
And
that's the formula in this league.
And there's a tight end, too. There's all those options.
And then you got Tank. I'm not sure, Bucky. Tank Bigsby, to me, looks like a starting frontline running back in this league.
Oh, my gosh. My guy's giving away starting jobs over there, J.O.? You're giving away starting jobs after 2
I'm not saying he's going to start.
We're ready to supplant.
But
There's it the end.
Would you be I love Travis and what he brings. Would you be worried if you have to go into games with Tank as a starter?
Because he's shown far more than I anticipated seeing. Watching him, one at Auburn, loved how he was a downhill runner, loved the violence and physicality that he displayed, but he's even different than just being a traditional downhill runner. What he displayed against Detroit, being able to scoot and cut and get to the outside, that's high-end running back stuff. The thing about it, and I'm so fascinated about what Doug Peterson is going to do with this running back backfield. I will never say, because bad thing, but you like having options. You like having the ability to change the game and, hey, you know what? We're going to go 11 personnel Tank, but Tank is in the game. We're going to go 12 personnel, but Travis, you're in, and we got Calvin and such in. A lot of flexibility. And the one thing that we've already seen very early in his tenure, Doug Peterson is a masterful play designer. And so when you talk about Calvin Ridley being a special route runner, someone who has extraordinary skills as a number one, Doug Peterson is going to dial up plays to get him loose. He also is going to find a way for Tank Bigsby to be a major factor in this offense.
Yeah, I think
I love
Bigsby
it. I love what we're seeing.
And I want to make sure this is heard right. I think he's a 1,000-yard running back who may not get the opportunity in this offense to get 1,000 yards. If you follow, in a different era, when it was run-centric league, I think he's a big time running back. They'll find a way to use him. I don't know if in this offense with this many weapons, with Travis Etienne, who has to have, but I think he is a player capable, clearly, of doing that. Whether or not he gets a chance to do it in this offense this year with this many weapons is a different story, Bucky.
Oh, JP, I was getting worried. Well, I thought John was over there talking about we're going to have 3,000-yard receivers, 2,000-yard backs. I was like, hey, Like, don't put that on me.
No, but I think he's capable.
League
He
record
has
offense.
that ability, but in this offense, he won't get a chance to do it.
Here, you're over
playing
here
Madden over
first
here.
thing. Yeah, look, I know we're going to bust the clock and we're going to put up numbers. I do expect this offense to be really explosive. I expect it to be a top 5 offense, not only in yardage put up, but I think points are going to be at a premium because Trevor Lawrence is very comfortable. We've seen that. But, yeah, the running back combination, look, I feel bad, right, because we talked in the game about the Ernest Johnson and then get your Michael Hasty. And, look, last year they took Stu Conner. You're just sitting there like, I don't know who's going to be around, but I know Tank and Travis Etienne are going to play a lot because they have to, because when you see them, they're different. Travis is a nice scat back that can, like, hit it a few different ways. He can catch out the backfield. But Bigsby giving them that presence and go all the way back to Philadelphia. And Doug has talked about the running back by committee that he had. He always had a big back, and that back then was LeGarrette Blount. And so the physical nature, the way that Bigsby runs, he's going to carve out a nice role for himself in this offense.
He's big. He's tall.
Yeah, and it's like Bucky said the other day, the way his feet as he hits the hole, he stays over his feet and then he accelerates out of the hole. He's interesting. I don't think I don't think we'll get a chance to see him quite as much in that prototypical old school running back role because this isn't an old school offense. But it's going to be interesting to see how Doug uses him. I'll just reiterate what Bucky said on that.
It'd be funny. Like I could envision him being the guy that goes in every third series. Maybe you have a 2-to-1, like maybe he gets 33% of the stuff where Travis would take 2 series, then in comes Tank Bigsby to do some things. Maybe he's the guy in 4 minutes to close the game out. But the better you are, the more productive he is, the more that Doug will find a way to kind of work him into the rotation and use him as a regular playmaker.
The Dolphins-Jaguars game in preseason week 3 is brought to you by Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Jaguars and the NFL. And, of course, hey, tickets are available for the game Saturday. Call 633-2000 or visit jaguars.com/tickets. Final thoughts in a moment. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields, and we have some great news. Fields has the vehicle you want, in stock, priced right, and ready for delivery.
Fields Auto Group is Jacksonville's luxury automotive destination for Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Inventory is back and available for immediate delivery.
And every Fields customer can take advantage of our Fields Amenities program with complimentary loaners, car washes, and our cafes. You deserve the best.
Stop by today or go to fieldsauto.com.
As the official ticket marketplace of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the NFL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game. Whether you're cheering on the Jaguars at home or away, Ticketmaster has you covered. With Ticketmaster's interactive seat map, you'll get a 360-degree preview of your seat so you can make sure you've got the best view of those pivotal plays. Plus, the Ticketmaster app makes it easy to sell or transfer tickets if your plans change. And mobile tickets make getting in on game day a breeze. Find tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars. That's Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
We're back. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks. Brought to you by Fields Auto Group Jacksonville. Step up to luxury. FieldsAuto.com. Feels like the Jags have stepped up to luxury with the weapons on offense. We'll talk through that a lot, of course. The defense looking to improve in key areas. There's a couple of injuries up front we'll keep an eye on the next week or two, but ready to roll week 1. And then now all of a sudden week 1, there's questions, of course, in Indianapolis. What's going on with the Colts? Richardson's going to start there at quarterback, but the running back room is up in the air right now, Bucky. That's a couple of weeks away. We've got plenty of time to discuss that. Chiefs are coming in week 2. Then week 3 is here at home. Then it's off to London, 2 games. It's a first-place schedule. On the back end, it's gets a little some good teams come into Jacksonville late in the year. But we're there. We're on the doorstep. One more preseason game, Bucky, to go before we can really get to real football.
Yeah, one more preseason game to go, but it's really important that this game is handled the right way. Not only in terms of evaluating the players at the bottom of the roster, making sure you solidify your 53 and your practice squad, but it's about the rhythm that both first-team units display. How efficient and effective are we on offense? Does the execution look like it's at a high level? And then defensively do you see good tackling like we've seen throughout the preseason? Do you see a high level of execution and understanding of what Mike Caldwell is asking them to do? And then you just see the guys flying around where you can feel their energy and intensity as they get ready for that first game. You want to see all those things. You want to be able to check off all those boxes to feel great about what you've done in training camp in the preseason.
Yeah, it's an interesting game to watch the defense. The Dolphins have weapons, obviously. So you want to see them be able to get them off the field at least a few times and look like they can get some pressure and can cover. So I think that's something a lot of people are going to watch. Haven't talked about that much this preseason because it's so hard to tell with the defense when you're not playing first-team guys against first-team guys. And they really haven't done that at all this preseason. So it's the defense's first shot against the first-team offense, and that'll be interesting.
And you open up the bank for the first time this year. First time an actual game's been in there since the wild card playoff game. Fans are getting a chance to come see the Jags, and a good opportunity to see the Jags. The starting Jags getting about 2 quarters in this game, and Trevor said he's fired up to see the fans back, and I think we all are. Bucky, it's going to be a fun experience on Saturday night.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. This is one that you want to make sure you pay close attention to. A lot on the line for a lot of young guys that are playing for their NFL careers. This should be fun. The intensity should be off the charts.
Hope they let me cover it, JP. Looking forward to it.
Well, maybe we'll see you there. That's John Oehser. Bucky, we will certainly see you there, and they'll see you on television, too.
Absolutely, man. Looking forward to it.
Bucky Brooks, John Oehser, I'm JP Shadrick. Thanks to our entire crew, and thanks to you for watching Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.